Shedeur isn't just some flashy prospect riding on the coattails of his famous dad. No, this guy might be the exact kind of nuclear option Dallas needs to break free from its decade-long Groundhog Day of almost there seasons and playoff heartbreaks. This isn't just a quarterback controversy. It's a personality transplant. Shedeur Sanders walks, talks, and throws like a man who's already convinced he's in the Hall of Fame. That level of self-belief, you can't teach it. He's not out here acting like he needs to earn respect. He demands it, and people listen.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
He's been playing under stadium lights and media pressure since high school. His dad is Coach Prime. He grew up with ESPN in the living room and NFL royalty at the dinner table. This kid has been media trained by life itself. And while critics love to chirp about his lack of NFL experience, let's not pretend like he was just another guy in college. He was the guy. At Colorado, Shedeur put on a clinic in confidence and chaos. His stat line was impressive, sure, but it was the vibe that really mattered. Pocket awareness, quick decision-making, laser throws downfield, and all while dodging more cameras than defensive linemen. He wasn't just playing football, he was headlining a show. Which brings us back to Dallas. Because let's be honest, this franchise doesn't want a quarterback. It wants a main character. And Dak? He's been solid, dependable, even admirable, but never really iconic. There's this unspoken sense that Prescott has plateaued. He's done everything right, checked all the boxes, kissed all the babies. But what's he gotten in return? A couple of playoff appearances and a truckload of pressure to be more than he realistically ever was. Now enter Shedeur, stage left, like a Gen Z Tony Stark with cleats. He's got the swagger, the storyline, the social media following. He's already more famous than half the league's starting quarterbacks without playing an NFL down. The Cowboys don't just need a QB, they need a spectacle. And who better to deliver that than the son of primetime himself? It's like destiny wrote this script in eyeliner and glitter. Plus, let's not forget the Jerry Jones factor. If there's one thing that man loves more than oil money, it's turning the Dallas Cowboys into a reality show with shoulder pads. Shedeur is tailor-made for that fantasy. He's young, flashy, polarizing. And if he wins even one dramatic game in overtime, the highlight reel is going to live on social media until the end of time. If you're Jerry, this isn't a gamble. This is a dream sequence. Is it risky? Absolutely. But when has that ever stopped Dallas? Shedeur Sanders represents everything Dak Prescott doesn't. Unpredictability, star power, controversy, youth, chaos, and potential. And right now, for a team trapped in the endless cycle of being good enough, potential is the only thing left that sells tickets. But now that we've gushed about Shedeur like he's the football version of Zendaya, let's hit pause. Because this is where the fun really begins. The Cowboys may be considering this move, but don't let the rumors fool you. This isn't just about football. This is about drama. It's about narrative arcs. It's about Jerry Jones, 81 years old and still pulling strings like a man trying to win both the Super Bowl and an Emmy. Because while Shedeur may be a future star, Dak Prescott is still the guy holding the keys to the kingdom, at least for now. The idea that Dallas would even entertain trading or benching him, that's not just a football decision. That's a full-blown identity crisis. And the fan base? Oh, they're spiraling. Cowboys Twitter is currently a war zone. One half is chanting, "We need change," like they're leading a revolution, and the other half is screaming, "Dak deserves better," like it's a custody battle. There are memes, there are polls, there are conspiracy theories. One fan literally photoshopped Shedeur onto a Cowboys jersey and declared, "The future is now." Another replied with, "You people deserve 3 to 14. This is where the Cowboys truly shine, not on the field, but in the chaos between games. The theater of it all. And in classic Dallas fashion, the rumor mill didn't just stop at maybe Shedeur joins the team. No, it escalated in a matter of hours. Suddenly, there's talk of Jerry Jones pulling off a blockbuster trade to offload Dak's contract. There are whispers about Deion Sanders himself getting more involved. People are even speculating that Colorado's offense is being mirrored in Cowboys training camp footage. Like, what are we doing here? The NFL offseason used to be quiet, peaceful even. But Dallas doesn't believe in peace. Dallas believes in headlines. And here's the thing no one wants to admit. Shedeur's not even in the NFL yet. These are rumors based on hypotheticals. But the Cowboys are such a magnet for drama that even a potential idea can become a full-blown media circus overnight. Forget plays and stats. This is about optics. And Jerry Jones is a master illusionist. But what happens if the smoke becomes fire? Let's say, somehow, Shedeur Sanders ends up as the Cowboys' starting QB. What then? Best case scenario, he balls out, sparks a playoff run, and becomes the face of a new generation. Worst case? He gets swallowed by the pressure, collapses under the weight of expectations, and ends up trending for all the wrong reasons. And you know the Cowboys have a history of overhyping quarterbacks. Remember when Tony Romo was supposed to be the next Aikman? Or when Dak himself was dubbed the future of the franchise after one breakout season. Dallas is not patient. Dallas is not logical. Dallas is dramatic. And Shedeur? He's entering a league that eats young QBs alive. He's got the tools, sure, but does he have the time to develop in a market this loud, this messy, this unforgiving? Because in Dallas, you don't get second chances. You get headlines, then you get booed. The entire situation is like a reality TV pitch gone too far. Imagine a season of hard knocks where Dak's trying to win back the locker room, while Shedeur's throwing no-look passes in designer cleats. The coaches are mic'd up. Jerry's giving monologues from his skybox. It's football, but make it Bravo. And what about Dak? This man has bled for this franchise. He's been the face, the spokesman, the calm during chaos. He's led Dallas through injuries, scandals, offensive coordinator chaos. You name it. And now, he's being potentially pushed aside for a player who hasn't played a single professional snap. That's not just disrespectful, that's brutal. But in Dallas, loyalty doesn't sell jerseys. Hype does. So where does this all end? Will Shedeur actually take the reins in Dallas? Will Dak be traded to some team that appreciates stability and veteran leadership? Or is this all just one big fever dream cooked up by the Cowboys media machine? Honestly, who knows? But one thing's for sure. In Dallas, the drama always wins. So here's your takeaway, your mock moral of the moment. In the NFL, especially in Dallas, talent will get you headlines, but chaos will get you a contract. Whether Shedeur Sanders becomes a legend or a cautionary tale, one thing is certain. The Cowboys have never been about calm. They're about the spectacle. And this might be their greatest performance yet. Don't forget to comment below. Team Dak or Team Shedeur? And if you love watching football slowly morph into reality TV, go ahead and subscribe. We've got plenty more where this came from. Every show from First Take to the Pat McAfee show becomes the Shedeur Sanders fan club versus the Dak Prescott Defense League. It's not even football talk anymore, it's the discourse. Skip Bayless probably faints on air. Shannon Sharpe might light a cigar in protest. ESPN starts running split-screen montages of Dak's fourth-quarter interceptions and Shedeur's deep ball highlights from Boulder, all set to dramatic piano music. Training camp turns into Coachella, quarterback edition. Helicopters flying overhead. Fans lined up in Sanders jerseys before they've even been printed. Every throw Shedeur makes in practice is slowed down, analyzed, zoomed in like the Zapruder film. Every Dak misstep? Proof he's washed. Even if he nails the pass, someone will still tweet, yeah, but would Shedeur have thrown it cooler? And let's talk about that locker room energy. You got veterans who've been with Dak since day one, guys who've gone through the grind, who've seen Dak carry the team through injuries, QB controversies, contract drama, and still show up like the franchise quarterback he's supposed to be. But now they're watching the media, and maybe even the front office, crown this shiny, untested rookie before he's even earned a snap. And that's where it gets messy. Because in the NFL, locker rooms run on respect. And you better believe some of those dudes are going to side-eye the whole Shedeur spectacle like, this ain't college anymore. But here's the twist. Some of them will buy in. Some players will want the fresh start, the new energy, the attention. They'll love the swagger, the primetime legacy, the way Shedeur handles the spotlight like it's a birthright. The divide starts forming, subtle at first, but real. Now let's throw in the media. Dallas already has more beat reporters than some entire divisions. Every practice becomes a soap opera. Every press conference is dissected for clues. Does Shedeur smile more around the wide receivers? Is Dak not getting as many first-team reps? Did someone accidentally leak a practice highlight of Shedeur throwing a 60-yard bomb on his first day? Oh yeah, it's happening. Then comes preseason, the official Shedeur debut. Dak starts game 1, plays it safe, throws a couple clean passes, maybe a touchdown, maybe a field goal drive. Solid, predictable, professional. Then Shedeur jogs onto the field. The crowd goes feral. Phones in the air. TikTok live streams running. Everyone waiting for that moment. He drops back, throws a dime down the sideline. And even if it's against third stringers, the reaction is instant. Clips go viral. Stephen A. Smith is calling it the dawn of a new Cowboys dynasty by morning. And it doesn't matter what actually happened. Because in Dallas, perception is reality. So now we're in week 1 of the regular season, and the drama is so thick you could slice it with a foam finger. If the Cowboys win with Dak, cool, everyone chills for about 6 minutes. The second he throws a bad pass, put in Shedeur. The second Shedeur posts a moody Instagram story, is he ready to take over? If the Cowboys lose, oh, you already know. The fan base will be howling for a change like it's a full moon over AT&T Stadium. Meanwhile, Jerry's sitting in his suite watching the ratings climb, the merch fly off shelves, the tweets pour in like confetti. To him, this is a win-win. Either Dak rallies and proves he's still the guy, or Shedeur steps in and becomes the next big thing. From a business perspective, it's genius. From a team chemistry standpoint, it's Russian roulette with cleats. But let's say, just for fun, the switch actually happens. Dak gets benched. Maybe mid-season. Maybe after a brutal loss in Philly. Maybe after Jerry gives one of those quotes that isn't supposed to mean anything, but actually means everything. Suddenly Shedeur is starting, and now the real pressure hits. Because now the cameras are his. Now it's not about hype videos and Coach Prime said I'm ready. Now it's real, grown man NFL football. And every defense wants to humble him. Every fan expects him to save the franchise. And every mistake is replayed 1,000 times. You think the internet was mean to Zach Wilson? Wait until Shedeur throws a pick-six on national television in Week 2 against the 49ers. Skip Bayless will break the sound barrier. Reddit threads will be titled The Shedeur Delusion. And just like that, the same fans who worshipped him in August will be calling for Cooper Rush by October. Because this is the problem with hype. It always wants more than it gives back. And in Dallas, the hype machine is relentless. It doesn't care if you're 21 and still figuring out blitz packages. It doesn't care if you've never played in the NFL. It doesn't care that you're technically still learning the playbook. It wants fireworks. It wants touchdowns. It wants a miracle. But miracles are hard in this league, especially when you're a rookie with the weight of the most valuable sports franchise in the world crushing your shoulders. Now here's where it gets poetic. If Shedeur fails, it won't just be he needs time. It'll be he was never ready. He only got the job because of his name. This is what happens when you chase clout instead of culture. It won't be a learning curve. It'll be a referendum. On Shedeur, on Dion, on Jerry, on the entire Cowboy circus. And if he succeeds, the world explodes. Every media outlet crowns Jerry Jones a genius. Shedeur becomes the new face of the NFL. Primetime is doing interviews in gold jackets. The Cowboys somehow become more famous. And Dak? He becomes the forgotten prince, once beloved. Now just a trivia question in the Sanders era. That's the cost of spectacle. That's the gamble Jerry's playing. Because make no mistake, this whole thing, this potential Dak to Shedeur pivot, it's not just about finding the best man under center. It's about legacy. It's about headlines. It's about turning football into entertainment. It's the NFL meets Netflix. And Jerry Jones is the executive producer. And honestly, we're all still watching. Because whether Shedeur turns out to be the second coming of Mahomes or the second coming of Johnny Manziel, you can't look away. That's the magic of the Cowboys. That's the madness of Jerry. That's the mythology of primetime. It's sports, but bigger, dumber, louder. And maybe that's what makes it perfect. Because Dak wasn't supposed to be here either, remember? He wasn't a first-round pick. He wasn't a golden child. He was the guy who got his shot after Tony Romo's body said, "I'm out." And suddenly this fourth-round rookie was carrying the most scrutinized franchise in football. He overachieved. He survived. He thrived. And for years, he was the guy, the steady hand in the chaos. But that's the thing about being steady. It's not sexy. And Dallas? Dallas doesn't just want wins. They want fireworks. They want viral content. They want quarterbacks who can throw 70 yards and post a motivational reel about it 2 hours later. Dak's brand is "I got you." Shedeur's brand is "Watch this." And right now, Dallas is chasing spectacle like it's a fourth-quarter comeback. But if Shedeur really steps in, if this whole insane rumor turns into a reality, you better believe the pressure cooker is going to explode. Let's imagine week 1. Shedeur's the starter. The stadium is buzzing. There are drones filming warm-ups. ESPN has a countdown clock like it's the Super Bowl. Everyone's there. Former players. Rappers. Maybe Dion himself is standing on the sideline in sunglasses and a cowboy hat, giving silent nods like he's about to pull off the heist of the century. And then the game starts. First possession, 3 and out. Second possession, interception. Third possession, a touchdown, but called back for holding. And now? Oh, now you feel it. The tension. The side eyes from coaches. The crowd, unsure if they're witnessing the start of a dynasty or the beginning of a full-on disaster. Because hype doesn't help when you're being blitzed by a Pro Bowl linebacker. Confidence doesn't buy you more time in the pocket. This is the NFL, and it eats dreamers for breakfast. And yet maybe he rallies. Maybe he shakes off the rust and leads a game-winning drive in the fourth. Maybe he hits C.D. Lamb with a perfectly placed dime, throws up the "watch me" gesture, and the crowd erupts. He points to the sky. Camera flashes explode. Jerry Jones is somewhere in a luxury box doing jazz hands. In that moment, Shedeur becomes the guy. The prophecy is fulfilled. A star is born. Headlines write themselves. New era begins in Dallas. Shedeur shines bright in debut. The primetime heir apparent. But hold on. This is Dallas. And one good game does not a legacy make. Because the second he stumbles, the second he shows he's still human, this city, this fan base, this machine will turn. Fast. Remember, this is the same place that booed Tony Romo after back-to-back playoff heartbreaks. The same place that questioned Dak after carrying a broken roster to 12 wins. Cowboys Nation has the patience of a toddler on espresso. You can be the hero one Sunday and the problem by Thursday. So now imagine Shedeur struggling in week 4. Maybe he's forcing throws. Maybe he's rattled. Maybe defenses start figuring him out. And now everyone's talking. Did we make the right move? Was it too soon? Is Dak still available? And Dak, he's still on the roster. Maybe he's sitting on the bench. Maybe he's clapping politely. Maybe he's pretending not to hear the reporters ask, "Do you think you'd do better in this offense?" Can you imagine that? Watching the guy who took your job fumble it, while you're forced to sit there like the ex who still shows up to family dinner. That's not just tension. That's a full-blown psychological thriller. And Jerry? He's in the middle of it all, treating the quarterback situation like a chess match where he's also narrating the moves to TMZ. One day, it's "We believe in Shedeur." The next is "Dak's a pro, and pros are always ready." The next is "We've got options, and we like our drama." Okay, he didn't say that last part, but he might as well have. And what about Coach McCarthy? You think he wants this chaos? You think he wants to be the guy explaining why he benched a 2-time Pro Bowler for a rookie who just threw 3 picks in one half? You think he's enjoying the way every press conference turns into a quarterback inquisition? This is how locker rooms split, how coaching staffs implode, How seasons that should be promising turn into 8 to 9 tragedies with a side of maybe next year. But again, this is Dallas. And Dallas lives for the mess. The sad truth is, stability doesn't sell jerseys. Development doesn't trend. What trends? Bold moves, risky plays, flashy new faces. So even if Shedeur crashes and burns, the Cowboys still win, sort of. They win the headlines, the clicks, the attention. And that's the Jones family business model in a nutshell. But you want to know who doesn't win? The team. Because all this drama, it takes a toll. Receivers don't know who to sync with. The line doesn't know who they're protecting next week. The defense is on the field too long because the offense is figuring out which quarterback is starting. The fans are screaming in one voice, "What are we even doing?" That's the cost of spectacle. That's the danger of playing fantasy football with real people's careers. And let's talk about Shedeur himself, because let's not pretend this kid asked for this storm. Sure, he's got the charisma. Sure, he's been bred for the spotlight. But he's still just that, a kid. He hasn't taken an NFL hit yet. He hasn't been blitzed by angry grown men trying to make a roster. He hasn't had 80,000 people boo him at home. It's one thing to play with swagger. It's another to survive when swagger isn't enough. And the harsh truth is, not every college star makes the leap. Not because they're not good enough, but because the environment eats them alive. The pressure, the politics, the noise. So Shedeur, he's not just fighting defenses. He's fighting expectation. And that's way harder to dodge than a linebacker. And Dak? He'll land on his feet. He's too experienced, too professional, too safe not to. Maybe he gets traded. Maybe he goes somewhere like Minnesota or Atlanta or even New England and quietly puts together another 10-year career. Maybe he leads a team to a quiet playoff run and reminds everyone, hey, I was never the problem. Because here's the thing no one says out loud. Dak Prescott didn't fail the Cowboys. The Cowboys failed Dak Prescott. They gave him mediocre coaching, inconsistent play calling, and a fan base that couldn't decide whether he was elite or expendable. And now they might toss him aside because a shinier toy showed up in the draft. That's the game. And it's brutal. But it's also why we watch. Because as much as we say we love the strategy, the technique, the tradition, what we really love is the drama, the downfall, the redemption arcs, the chaos. And nobody does chaos like the Dallas Cowboys. So what's it going to be? Will Shedeur Sanders rise from college superstar to NFL sensation, blazing a new trail for the Cowboys and silencing every doubter in the process? Or will he be the latest victim of the Dallas hype machine, a talented kid tossed into the meat grinder of expectations, chewed up by the very machine that crowned him? Will Dak Prescott go down as a Cowboys legend cruelly pushed out too soon? Or will he be remembered as just another chapter in Jerry Jones's endless quest for ratings over rings? All we know is this. Whatever happens, it's not going to be boring. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more unbelievable sports drama, one meltdown at a time. Because in Dallas, there's no such thing as off-season. There's only entertainment.